Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Bob's Wood Shop. I've been thinking about getting a palm router, and my buddy Dale told me that these Ryobis are on sale right now at Home Depot for only 49 bucks. So this is a real quick review. It's not an in-depth test, it's just a overview and how it works in conjunction with my Peachtree dovetail jig. Okay, hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the new Ryobi router. It's actually been on the market the last couple of years, but there's a super deal on it right now at Home Depot. My buddy Dale and I are filming this today, and he bought it last week and he told me about it. These things are only $49 right now. And I was looking at some of the different reviews and stuff, and I was thinking about what am I going to be using it for. And primarily the reason I bought it was I wanted to use it in my Peachtree dovetail jig, so we're going to be giving it a test run here shortly. But I just wanted to give you a couple little points on the features of this thing. So this thing comes in, and the main thing I was surprised about, I didn't realize this runs at 29,000 RPM, and it does not have variable speed, which I can live with because it's really for like a one purpose that I want to use this for. In order to open and close, or I should say extend and contract the base, you can do this. This is the fast release here, and you push down on it, and then if you turn this up, you open this latch here, and then you can do some micro adjustment here, and there's a little scale right here if you actually use scales, right? This does not come with a dust chute, and I don't think it's an option on it. And let's see what else. Oh, it's got a nice LED on here. The on-off switch is down here. And my idea today was I wanted to be able to have either one or two of these all set up. I usually have my Peachtree dovetail bits in this router and my little Bosch Colt, and if I don't have to be messing with the cords, and I'm going to go like EV on here, we're going to try that. So I think it's ergonomically okay. When I hold it, I'm going to be holding it down here. I really don't want to be holding it up here or up here, which is I think one of the selling points for this thing. But for $49, I don't think you can really beat it. In order to lock the shaft and change the collet, you push this little button here, and they provide a little stamped wrench, which works just fine, right? And then if you mess with this a little bit, you can actually take this base off by pushing this in, and you got to get that in an exact right spot, and this whole base will just come out, and it's easier to change the bit that way. So let's take it over to the dovetail jig and see how it works. One other thing, this does not come with the battery. I already had a battery. I had this with my blower over here. There's a little 18-volt job, and I think these are about $50 or $60, but I already had one, so that this whole thing then only really cost me the $49. And my buddy Dale, he had the 4 amp hour version of this, and I know these are interchangeable, so if you need a much longer run time, you can always plug one of these things in. Okay, so let's try it on the Peachtree dovetail fixture. So for the dovetail fixture, and again, one of the reasons I wanted to try this, I wanted to make sure that it works on here. And I love this fixture. And one of the things you do is you have to, when you get a piece of wood, you have to either line it up between fingers, like right on, and ideally it's right on. And if you could plan your project a little bit so it's right on, you don't have to be splitting the difference. If you have a piece, right now this piece of wood's 5 inches. If I had something longer, like 5 1/4, 5 3/8, or up to 12 inches wide here, you'd have to, when you put the wood in the fixture, you have to make sure there's the same amount overhanging on each side. Other thing you have to do is you can draw a line here, right? And then I've already adjusted this where I've got the dovetail cutter just below that line. And you do that so that when you do put the pieces together, it's overhanging just a little bit, and then you can sand that nice and flush. You only really need about a 1/64 of an inch. All right, so it's all set up. I got it on my cheap and dirty Moxon vise here. Everything's nice and tight. I got my quick and easy clamps, and let's see how this works using a dovetail bit. Okay. So again, I'm gonna put my one hand up here and my other hand here. And all you're really doing is you're riding this bearing, which is 5/8 of an inch in diameter, right in this 5/8 inch fingers. So all you have to do is just follow that. It's real easy. And you can go from left to right or right to left. The big trick is just going slow, and that helps prevent tear out. So let's get this thing started here. And when I turn it off, this is a pretty quick slow down, but always just keep it on the fixture while it's slowing down. If you have a different type of router that takes a few seconds to stop, just keep it on there to avoid doing this and doing that. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to take this out of here and we're going to set up for the next cut. One thing you have to do is there's usually a little bit of fuzzies on here, and just go with the grain and clean out any fuzzies that you have. So the next thing you do, once you have your dovetails in, and by the way, you always do the dovetails first, and here's why. Another thing I like to do, I like to put this piece down as an elevation and use the jig as a holding fixture, and then I flush up both ends, and then from there I could just draw some lines. You can use a marking guide or marking knife or an X-Acto knife, but in this case I'm just going to use a couple pencil lines. Right, and again, what I wanted to do, those pencil lines are nice and visible there. And now I've got to turn the fixture around. Right, so if I'm turning the fixture around, I got to also turn this board around. I'm turning the fixture around here so that the shavings are going away from me versus towards me. So all I'm really doing, zoom right in right here, those lines were there. You want to put those lines right on the fingers, so, and you want to make sure that it's nice and flush. And let's see, I didn't draw the line, so we're gonna draw a line right there. And then this time around we're going to use the flush cutting bit. And one more time, we got to get the bit right at the we got to get the bit just below the line. And I'm going to use a little bit. That looks good. Okay. All right. All right, and once you do that, then you just start it up, and again, you can go slow. Always go slow when you're making these cuts. Wait till it stops. And then one trick, now I went through there twice, and I want to make sure that I've got this flush right on here. If you're not paying attention, you can actually not get all that wood, and you got to get all that wood. And you know, this feels really good. So from there, just take this off, and then you'll see how well it fits. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, this is where I was saying you have a little bit of overhang on there, and then you can just sand that nice and flush, so you get a perfect bit. So I think what I'm going to do is do my original plan. This worked just fine on here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and buy another one of these, just so that I can have these set up and ready to go. And now, when I make any types of boxes or gun cases in the future, I'm going to go and just make a small adjustment on the depth on this. So today was really the first time I've used this. This is certainly not an endurance test. I'm buying these units as a convenience matter, so I'm not messing around changing routers and or bits on a regular basis, because I do make a fair amount of Dovetails. These are currently on sale at Home Depot in New Jersey for $49, and I hope you liked the short video, and I'll see you next time on another episode of Bob's Wood Shop.